Can you hear me now? Am I coming through okay? Have we ceased the robot? All right, good. Yeah, so sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. See, I noticed I was having some audio problems this morning when I started up my computer, and the audio device had changed to something that wouldn't make any noise. It was the UX2 itself, which is the interface for the for my microphone. So I had plugged my microphone into the UX2, and then the UX2 goes into the computer. So it's the middleman to the operation here. I changed that, and then the audio started working, and I thought, well, maybe just a Windows update might have screwed with something, but everything seems to work now. May have broken more than I thought there. Full restart seems to have fixed it, though. So, oops. Windows update. Give me a moment to get the game up, though. Okay. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Phontomen, and welcome to the show proper now after, slight technical difficulty. Right, so where were we on that event? Right, we would have actually finished this in one go, but it was damn near 1 o'clock in the morning, and, well, then Mecha Break happened yesterday, and, we also went to damn near 1 o'clock in the morning with that. But we're here, and we're gonna finish the event story and see exactly what's going on here with Don Quixote. I'd like to. Don Quixote is the focus now for more than jokes. I would like to see what's going on here.
정화의 시간입니다. 더러운 것들을
I'll get that later.
순수의 흙에서 떼어내버릴 시간이죠.
Well, I tried to click on it and it wouldn't let me in, but as we were. Right. Fun time to come back! Didn't we see these nice people just 5 minutes ago? What could have possibly happened? I'm sure they'll get better. It's probably fine.
가보지.
I'm sure they'll get better. It's probably totally fine. Right, guys? Right? Mm-hmm. They'll get better. As we were, though. Wait. A blood fiend? Yes, please explain this one. What's a blood fiend? A blood fiend? What in the name of the wings is that? Don Quixote doesn't even know what a blood fiend is. Huh? You of all people haven't heard about blood fiends? Though you thought you were our team expert on obscure lore. Verily, I have not once heard mention of these blood fiends. Perchance I have let a magazine article slip from my memory? Don Quixote furrows her brow genuinely lost. It was as though the very word sounded alien to her. Someone other than us who doesn't know about something? Suspicious, but the funny thing is, I think I had Blood Fiend explained to me, but let's see if I'm actually... See if this rhymes with what I think I remember. It's quite some time ago. I thought they were just monsters in stories to scare children in the night. They're supposed to be afraid of garlic and sunlight, right? No, that's a vampire, Sinclair. Yes, but not the same thing. Also, that fucking tensioner track back there. might have to steal that. That's a very good building paranoia, like, just background ambience, right? Fun times. Oh, that sounds a bit different from what I heard. I heard their fear of garlic and sunlight is just a rumor, and what they're really afraid of is water. Huh? Faust, do you know anything about this? I mean, personally, obviously, since you can't access Wikipedia, or Faustopedia, as we have learned. We kind of knew it was something like that, but yes, Faust currently cannot access any of the information from Faustopedia, which actually leaves her in a vulnerable state, which is actually kind of nice to see her in said state for once. But do you know anything? No, she didn't say anything. I have been briefed on the existence of blood fiends in the past when I served as a commanding officer, and I have seen the dregs that they command. Though my memory isn't very clear, I am quite certain that these monsters here do not resemble what I've seen. I've seen one who called themselves a blood fiend among the fingers, but the things that blood fiend commanded weren't like these rubber texture ones. There's something off about this one. That one didn't spawn these dregs with abandon like this. But aren't you supposed to know this already? Yes, I see that some sinners may have encountered blood fiends in the past. A long-winded explanation seems unnecessary. Because I don't have one! As many of you have stated thus far, the entities we face in this train do not appear to be blood fiends. In a sense, they are dreg-like beings that have failed to become kindreds. They are referred to as blood bags among relevant parties, according to the information I am aware of. Oh, she does know something. So she gave a slightly less long-winded explanation, more or less just backfeeding the information that everyone just said aloud. Well, she can still think on her feet. Not a terrible name. Why would anyone name someone blood bags? As it has been said prior, it is impossible for passengers to disappear aboard warp trains under normal circumstances. Though our reserve of intelligence regarding the warp trains, or W Corp, is vast if incomplete, we could not find a possible exception to the above rule. Within that reserve of intelligence, however, I have discovered that inserting a previously unseen variable into the equation allows for a formation of a new hypothesis. Wait, you're saying that these blood fiends can completely erase people or passengers from existence? A more accurate descriptor would be to say that they are either dissolved or vaporized. Dissolved? No matter the degree of violence the passengers may indulge in, no matter how severe the damages may be, the warp trains can revert them to their initial states at the beginning of the journey. Among several interpretations of the word, violence involves cannibalization, of course. Okay? Yeah. However, as the passengers' collective time itself is in moratorium for the duration of the train's operation, digestion is not a biological process that should be active. In other words, even the devoured passengers could be reconstructed. If they are merely stuffed into the digestive tract, then I suppose they could gut the passengers to retrieve the chewed up chunks of other passengers and piece them back together via the vein-like things connecting each individual. Man, this is we're getting really, really in-depth with how Warp Corp handles this, and that's extremely, I didn't think it was going to get this in-depth, but boy howdy have they fucking thought about this. However, such is not true for blood bags. Blood bags are, by their nature, obsessed with blood. Their existence hinges on supplying themselves with the blood of their victims. And it is said that they must consume a minuscule amount of blood to maintain their forms. Wait, what? Didn't you just say that digestion's not a thing while we're on the train? Yes! But that means that they can't do that. And so, something else happens. If I were to continue my deductions, perhaps consumption of blood for blood fiends and blood bags is a fundamentally different process from our consumption of nutrients for energy. To them, blood is a culmination, an entailment of something that forms the self, including but not limited to emotions, ambitions, wealth, purposes of existence. Then it must naturally follow that they can spend their blood at will, which is a process that is isolated from other biological processes such as digestion. Well, I ain't following even half of that. It's spiritual vampirism, apparently. You exist in moratoria of time at the present moment, Heathcliff. Yet your emotions still persist, do they not? Anger, sorrow, and joy, they continue to spark within you. Huh? Well, I suppose they are. Though we cannot tell whether they may be in a state of alteration, or whether they remain ensnared in the wheel of creation and destruction, it can be said that emotions, once past, exist not in continuation. The passenger's will to persist, the worth of this very existence in which they thrive, do they not all gently atrophy into non-existence, even amidst the ceased time? Faust seeks to illustrate the similarity between how emotions are to ourselves and how blood is to blood fiends. Okay, so it follows rules of generations like Vamp the Masquerade. Interesting. Huh. Well, yeah, so it's vampires, but it's also... it's way more, spiritual rather than actual physical blood. So... huh. Okay, we're getting... well, we've gone so far in the what the fuck are you going on about territory that we've arrived at something entirely unique. No, it's blood. It's actual blood. Yes, it's actual blood. However, what they get out of it when they drink people's blood is not necessarily nutrients. It's something. I'm not quite sure how to quantify it. It's not necessarily nutrients, it's more like a reason to live, it seems. Very interesting. Gotcha, so that's why she said their blood is vaporized, huh? If that's the case, then the very blood that's supposed to bind these chunks of flesh together will also evaporate, which means that they can't be pieced back together. Blood mana, kinda, in a way? There is no incongruence to that in that logic. So this energy is not kept in stasis aboard the warp train, it expends naturally. So when they become a blood fiend and they obviously, go through this process and are unable to actually properly ingest whatever the hell you want to call blood aside from actual blood, or rather the thing that they need to survive within blood. Since they can't ingest and digest it properly, then they turn to basically ash, more or less. They have discovered a way to die aboard a warp train. That's both good and bad, I suppose. Terrible for the bottom line of the company, though. Everyone fell silent for a moment. That was way too much information to process at once. We didn't even know what to make of them either. I would like to ask a few questions, if you would permit me. Yisang was the first to break the silence. Could it be said that blood bags are direct creations of blood fiends? If such is the case, then by which method do they... That information is inaccessible at the moment. Faust replies, avoiding Yisang's gaze. There isn't anything I can do about this. The sinners will only get more stressed if they find out. And that's something Faust and I both want to avoid. So we have to actually... We have to throw a MacGuffin. I'm sorry, the Wi-Fi isn't, you know... We don't have that on file. Inaccessible. Ah, indeed. Now I recall what you have said in the past. This is only a speculation, however. I assume that a form of direct physical contact is needed to turn an individual into a blood bag. If such were not the case, then we, who are likely the greatest obstacles to this entity's goal at the moment, would have been the first ones to be turned. Indeed. In that case, the villain of a blood fiend must be hiding... That villain of a blood fiend must be hiding somewhere aboard this train, clearly. Something blood kind of important, more so for some than others. Vampires on a train. Spiritual vampires on a train. Emotional vampires on a train. Indeed, if we are to believe the words from the fixer from earlier, then there is a high likelihood that the Horde is advancing in this direction from the back of the train, which... Hey guys! Don't spoil anything, but now I'm kind of thinking. You know that... You know the people in the car right behind us? Remember that kind of greasy-looking little girl? I'm trying to remember if she had red eyes or not. I wonder if that was important. Yeah, she didn't. Don't spoil it, though. I want to see if I'm right. Watch the cutscene again, but that's all. No, we're just gonna keep on going. In other words, continuing down the train cars will lead us straight to the Blood Fiend, or so we think. But, a tad of a flash of intuition there, but no. There's probably some hidden information in there, but no, don't tell me if I'm right. Very well, I shan't forsake this opportunity to bring peace to the souls of the innocent passengers who have perished by the villain's hands. Dante. It seemed that Don Quixote was now invigorated. The other sinners also seemed satisfied now that we had a clearer sight of our goal. Faust, who stood amidst them, nodded in my direction. Well then, let's go. We're making the best of what's available to us at the moment. Let's move forward for now. Questions upon questions upon questions, and since when did the shadow runs begin? I wonder exactly when did the shadow runs begin here. But anyway, violence.
재밌네요. 늦으면 메피랑 먼저 갈 거야.
That's not good, but yeah, you'll be fine. Why end Corp Result? Because I don't have Warp Corp Result, and he's the highest level version of Result that I have currently.
적들이 흔들흔들.
We do not seem to be having problems with these encounters anyway, so... Oh well.
전투응대에 나선다.
Had to open my mouth, didn't I?
내 피가 배고파 했어.
운이
잘됐다.
따라준다면 좋겠네요.
Like his S3, I think rolls at 12 to 16. This isn't entirely true, I suppose, but usually why I have W Corp Mersault in is that A, he's durable, and B, it's to use his egos.
야호. 이기는 편.
In this
우리
case,
편.
he's here. I didn't really feel the amazing need to replace him, and we're just kind of going at... I'm just gonna kind of keep going until I run into a fucking problem.
꿈을 꾸러 가도
Cackle Faust is extremely OP right now. Noted for the future, but of course, I'm using as many Warp Corp IDs as possible.
이단을 정화했다.
So that is why I have, for once, not pulled out N Corp Faust.
야호. 이기는 편. 우리 편.
전투응대에 나선다.
신시계.
문단을 준비하고
침묵하라.
내 피가 배고파 했어. 잘됐다. 그치?
Okay, so we have a fluid sac here. Some people could use a hand. And that's a splash damage. And what else do we have for anything? Not really anything else.
참여하게 되리라.
무얼 잘못했는지 아는 것부터가 시작이랬어.
환상의 세계로 들어가 보죠.
이 전투는 승리할 거야. 1타 2피 맞지? 하론 수담해줄게. 야호. 이기는 편. 우리 편.
신시계.
Alright, no big deal there. But I'll check that, Sheldon, if she actually does give the event. I suppose Faust is key to the entire event. It'd be nice if every identity she ever uses... she as a whole has a bonus. That'd be nice.
다른 사우들의 몫까지 해결해버린 모양이구려. 보상은 없는가? 잠시 다른 일을 하는 것이어도 좋으니.
Just hang on here.
네. 출발하죠.
No, she doesn't. What are you talking about? Crackle ID, the new one. Oh, I don't have that. Though I suppose multiple people have offered to actually have that as support, but there's one. Let's give that a try, I suppose.
불로 정화하고
You
깨끗한 세계를
teleport.
세우라.
Well, let's see if she's overpowered. She's gonna be overpowered on her own.
카론, 기다리는 거 못해.
Oh,
100초만 기다려줄게.
well, hang on here. I actually want to see the damn ID. Fucking Heathcliff hopped into the spot. Oops.
이럴 리가 없는데.
I got all my energy back. Quit bitching. Actually, aside from one. Oops. So if we're gonna use her as support, we might as well do that. So hang on here.
준비는 완료했습니다.
Oh, for the love of Christ, I have to do the whole thing in reverse.
준비는 완료했습니다.
자,
다들 좋아.
말뚝
현장
그래, 태워보지 뭐.
Okay.
몸 좀 풀어볼까요?
Oops. Anyway.
늦으면 매피랑 먼저 갈
Okay,
거야.
so what's Mechanicus Faust's deal here?
침묵.
방금 건 아무 쓸모도 없었어.
I mean, you could just read. Reading? In this game?
늦으면
I think
매피랑
not.
먼저 갈 거야.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
적들이 흔들흔들. 기회
전투에
아니야?
나선다.
If she's actually overpowered, I'm going to be able to beat the encounters with her without thinking.
승객이 딱 한
That's
번만
actually
먹었어.
overpowered then. So what is this really good ID, supposedly?
지금이 기회인 것 같소. 인간의 준비. 효율적인
I mean, that certainly looks cool.
매피가 배고파했어.
전투에
잘됐다.
나선다.
그치?
Those are very big numbers.
헛! 출력 최대치.
Okay, that's a ton of attacks, and holy shit, the amount of coins in that.
무얼 잘못했는지 아는 것부터가 시작이랬어.
이제
영원한 참으로 인도하지.
야호. 이기는 편, 우리 편.
참여하게 되리라.
Yeah, I'm noticing the very high numbers. Those are some fucking numbers.
꿈을 꾸러가다.
야호. 이기는 편, 우리
운이
편.
따라준다면 좋겠네요.
침묵하라. 쉬시게.
재밌네요.
야호. 이기는 편, 우리 편.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
쉬시게. 단숨에.
Okay then. All right, so I could read more about those abilities. Well, I'll just use her a lot and see what happens. Cause, yeah, no, those numbers are really fucking high. That's like entering ego levels of coin power. So that's very good. She also, yeah, she basically kind of just built 10 charge and 2 attacks. Noticed that. But Manager Esquire, halt. Behold this poor fellow. He lives still. Don Quixote, her round eyes wide open, began sprinting somewhere. No, stay away from me, you monsters. Hey man, we're not those monsters. You alright? Huh? That arm, you're starting to mutate too, aren't you? You must be turning into some bug-like ah! What? No, this is... Gregor stumbled for words before chuckling and casting his gaze towards the floor in disbelief. Yeah, well, no surprise there. I suppose there's no way to tell right away whether this arm's a monster, a prosthetic, or whatnot. Yeah, Bugman. It is possible that you are mistaken due to his bioprosthetic being of an older, outdated make that is now rarely seen in the city. Thank you, Mersault, for that amazing long-winded excuse. Ah, a prosthetic. That's a relief. I thought those crazy bastards were trying to break in again. As you can see, my legs are messed up. I had no choice but to hide here. So what are the W Corp employees doing aboard this train? Huh, you're right. From what we found out about the warp trains through the identities, I can't imagine why any of them would ever willingly board this train. You're the contract fixers, right? We were ordered to assist you with your contract. I said we, but I'm the only one left. Every single one of my colleagues suddenly began losing their minds in that car over there, and... This cannot be! Faust, is there truly no way to cure the blood bags? My apologies. The access to that information is prohibited at this moment as well. Yes, prohibited. Rips the Ethernet cord out of the wall. Prohibited. Though her voice and expression were both as serene as always, there was something gloomy about the way she said that. Well, she's not actually lying to people, but she is lying to people, and we're the only ones who can notice right now. I may have been too reliant on Faust in too many places. Faust muttered in a barely audible volume. Yes, I may have been too reliant on me, the other Homerus. I don't know what I can do to help the sinners in a situation like this either. Remain resolute, manager. We'll get to the bottom of this. With enough violence, we can find a peaceful solution to this problem. I'd also grown too used to Faust's omnipresent omniscience because I could always trust it to be there for us. I was starting to realize that don't have the means to consider I don't have the means to consider and make my own decisions at moments like these. Well, good to know that I'm not the only one suffering from very selective dyslexia. There's clearly supposed to be an I there. No, maybe I was too reliant on everyone else. Well, granted, we couldn't really do anything, and we just had to kind of punch through basically everything, and Faust and Vergilius were just kind of sitting there saying, deal with it, kids, it's part of the plan. But however, we had Vergilius get off his ass as the regional manager and get down into the basement and come to our aid, and now Faust is, well, she's being different, and is not coming to our aid because now she's completely fucking helpless. This is very good allegory for the over-reliance on Google. Yeah, unfortunately. Faustopedia is a blessing and a curse. When the time comes for them to rely on me, when they can no longer function as they usually do for whatever reason, can I really manage them, well, lead them to the right answers? Well, we're gonna have to fucking try because there's nobody but us. Doubt, colored with fear, begins to rise like a dark plume of smoke. Actually, no, my head's just on fire. That's normal. Well, what can I do, right? The agent struggled to some corner of the room with his wounded leg and pulled on a lever. They made good use of the space. and the wall behind what had initially appeared to be a folding chair for employees spun open. Oh, what in the name of wings is this? Perchance thou hast hidden here a weapon most powerful, a weapon most afeared by the blood fiends. That holds some resemblance to a capsule we saw on the first class car, but why would that thing be here? The cleanup agent slumped into the pod that appeared on the wall. Phew, finally. What is it thou seekest to do? W Corp prepared a small hibernation pod for employees in case of these emergencies. Verily, then, huh? Good luck with the rest of the mission. Bye! Fuck this. Fuck this shit, I'm out. When the door covering the pod closed, only the folding chair and wall covered with viscera remained. He's gone. Anybody wanna, well, actually, this is a different CG, but I guess that's a Warp Corp weapon there. That looks very important. And thus Lost Passenger was born, I think. Oh, the dude with the lighter? Huh. Yeah, that might be that. It's a theory right now. Well, I could say that even if that's not him, that could be the method by which the lost passenger is lost, right? So they could be Warp Corp employees in sleeping pods, in the train, unbeknownst to literally everyone at some point. More stuff happens later on that proves my theory more, not spoiling. Okay. Excuse me. I was kind of expecting we'd probably highlight that here, but we'll see what's going on here. I figured we were gonna have mention of that guy in the mirror dungeons at some point. There he goes. He has departed the scene. We blankly stared at the wall the agent disappeared into. Well, then, I guess we gotta... Let's move on to the next car. Keep on keeping on. Yep, just more violence, that away.
전투 응대는 성공적이었다. 나쁘지 않은 움직임이었어. 이제 다른 쪽 집안일로 돌아가지.
The next car.
싱싱한 풀이 보이네.
늦으면 매피랑 먼저 갈 거야.
Oh, hey! Where's bullshit Faust? Hey, wait a minute. No, hold on here. Damn, I thought that was actually gonna stick like that, but nope. You forgot to support. Yep, no, I thought it was gonna stick, my bad.
몇몇 분들의 불필요한 움직임이 있었어요.
Hey! She appears to be extremely useful. I almost did it again. Nope. She's gone! I refreshed the page and she's gone! Well. Oh well. Nice while it lasted, I guess.
기차와 같이 달려나가겠소!
Oops.
카론, 기다리는 거 못해. 신속히 100초만 기다려줄게.
See, this is why I typically don't rely on supports. Oh well, we'll give another roll for her, I guess, though I'm trying to save my,
100초만 기다려줄게.
all of my loony coins for, Bloodborne Heathcliff, which he's gonna be busted. There's no way he's not going to be busted.
참여하게 되리라.
Wait, am I the only one in your friends list that has her? Possibly.
적들이 흔들흔들.
전투 응대에
기회
나선다.
아니야?
Bloodborne Heath is this month. Yeah, as I heard, he's apparently the next major pull.
지금이 기회인 것 같소.
So, I'm trying to save resources for him because I know he's gonna be absolutely off the goddamn chain.
재밌네요.
그래서 카론이 안전벨트
내 앞을 막을
잘하라고
자는
했잖아.
없어.
If he's not just as strong as, you know, N-Corpse and Claire, he may be even stronger. But that implies that, you know, the Moon people actually want to make identities that were stronger than N-Corpse and Claire.
야호. 이기는 편, 우리 편.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어. 지금이 기회인 것 같소.
Oh, so they revealed that he can actually revive allies on his own. That's interesting as a mechanic. Aren't we the only ones who can do that?
그래서 카론이 안전벨트 잘하라고 했잖아.
And he can get on the horse. Look at my horse. My horse is amazing.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
Bloodborne Heathcliff is a necromancer. Well, that means we gotta get him.
깐띠님 봤어요?
Look at my horse, but it's in the Bloodborne sound font.
적들이 흔들흔들. 기회
신속히
아니야?
침묵하라.
문전을 준비야.
So yeah, we're definitely gonna want to get him. So you know what? Now I'm just gonna save my resources. We tried to chip in for, you know, to get Mechanicus Faust. She seems really cool,
너무
but
쉽군요.
yeah, I think we're just gonna want that. I think if you're gonna roll in one gacha, it's probably gonna be that one.
야호. 이기는 편, 우리 편.
문전을 준비야.
똑같이 한 저항일 뿐이다.
다음은 어디요? 이게 바로 소위 말하는 엘리트? 나 승진시켜 주시오, 관리자나리.
Down, Don Quixote. This is already basically your story build-up. You're already getting enough attention. But okay. Halfway there! Also, so, yeah, now that I'm further recollecting on it, yeah, we're just gonna, I'll take all of those, and we're keeping them. That's not gonna be enough to guarantee getting, you know, Bloodborne Heath, but I will take those. I will also take these. We will need these at a later date. the next car too. The next car, and the next car, and the next car, and the next car, and the next car.
몸 좀 풀어볼까요?
Wait, the ego's getting an ID? I think so. Why are we having IDs and then egos?
레피랑 먼저 갈 거야.
So, what, we're getting Spider Ryoshu.
전투응대에 나선다.
늦으면 레피랑 먼저 갈 거야.
I'm on the ball with that now.
신속히
Finally figured out where the goddamn buttons are, so I don't need somebody else to pull out the Makarov to shoot anybody.
카론, 기다리는 거 못해.
These guys are getting kind of
레피만
chewy.
기다려줄게.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요. 재밌네요.
적들이 흔들흔들. 기회 아니야?
Alright, let's throw Land of Illusion out there. That's AoE. That'd probably help.
신속히 처리하죠.
이제
I think I'm doing fine. We might have some problems with whatever boss there is for the event, but we'll see. I don't think I specifically need her. Her big numbers are nice, but, well, eh.
환상의 세계로 들어가 보죠.
승객이 딱콩 한 방 먹였어. 야호. 이기는 편, 우리
Now,
편.
wait a second.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
대성공이야. 다른 신나. 노래 부를까?
이제
침묵하라.
우와. 카론도 깜짝.
참여하게 되리라.
재밌네요.
영원한 참으로 인도하지.
단테님 봤어요?
야호. 이기는 편, 우리 편.
Are we
참여하게
gonna see all the sinners on the board? That would be extremely entertaining to have a 12 fight.
단숨에
That'd probably be for a special occasion, though, to throw all of the sinners on the board at the same time. However, the interface would have to be rescaled to be the tiniest fucking thing you've ever seen in your entire life. Given that the Kanto 6 finale was crashing some devices,
봤어요? 너무 쉽군요.
that might be an issue. However, we're on PC, we don't have to give a shit about that.
이 전투는 승리할 거예요.
But they are continuing to make small changes here or there incrementally to the UI and how things work. The game's never crashed on me, but I'm a PC.
야호.
So, it'd be very hard for a mobile game to crash a PC. It could happen, though.
신속히 처리하죠. 즉시 꿈을 꾸러 가도록.
이단을 정화했다.
Stranger, that seems like... To me, that feels like this is the final boss of the whole video game sort of theatric, where you can choose between every single sinner and try and synergize with literally all of them on the field at once. That feels like we have given you completely unrestrained power. Go nuts. That feels like it's the end of the game sort of thing. But we'll see how things go here, because I suppose somewhat like, you say, Fate Grand Order, we may have an end of a story, and then we may continue onwards to another story. Is it going to be BB time? I don't know. But we couldn't have a actually end to the story because, well, this is clearly a story that's going to end at some point, right? This is clearly well written enough that it actually is going to conclude, but what happens after that, I have no idea. Prosthetic fixers, huh?
돈 벌러 가자.
But I'd like to see a 12-sitter fight. That would be interesting.
카론, 기다리는 거 못해.
Again, this would have to be like minimized to like a quarter of its size to fit everybody on the bar, but it would be very interesting.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
Or then again, it would be an abnormality fight, probably. And so you could probably fit it on screen. Like, I think we have the maximum size, depending on... Hang on, well, let's observe this fight here. How many spaces for attacks do we have with the interface at maximum size?
늦으면 내피랑 먼저 갈 거야.
At 7. So how far could this go? I think everybody gets an extra attack, so it would actually be 12, right? If we go on long enough in these Mook fights, we do actually get 12 individual spaces, right? I've never actually sat down and took count before, but we do get that.
적들이 흔들흔들.
Okay, 8.
기회 아니야?
참여하게 되리라.
Maybe like a two-party fight with 2 blues and 6 that you switch out after each turn. That would be kind of overcomplicated and extremely confusing.
그래서 카론이 안전벨트
Okay, so that's
잘하라고
9.
있잖아.
No, I think the interface actually innately gets that big. Also, though, oof. You know what we're going to do? We're going to throw that out there, and then we're going to use Crow's Eye to give us a bit of a speed advantage. It looks like we might need that. Also, well, made Ryoshu. Of course, we could definitely make use of that. What am I thinking?
전투응대에 나선다.
환상의 세계로 들어가 보죠.
A little bit of area effect damage.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
That's not good. Well, we have 2 ranks for a reason.
그래서 카론이 안전벨트 잘하라고
1,
있잖아.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It looks like we just barely get to like 10, 11, but everybody's staggered now, so this is gonna be kind of shit. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need that second rank.
침묵하라.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
뭘
That was-
잘못했는지 아는
That
것
really needed to be
같아.
full blast rip space, and it was not.
침묵하라.
방금 건 아무 생각 없었어. 바보.
아직 주인놈을 친구야.
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming.
승객이
메릭!
조용해졌어. 조금 있다. 째깍째깍 해줘야 돼.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Yeah, 11. But Ish doesn't have an extra slot there. So yeah, no, I think we could already do that. At least as far as the UI is concerned.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어. 지금이 기회인 것 같소. 얼얼하지? 정신 못 차릴 거야.
야호.
Yeah?
이기는
No.
편, 우리
2,
편.
4, 6, 8, 10, 12. No, we could. This is the size of the UI. If we're like, think if we were doing an abnormality fight, this is the size the UI would be at the beginning of the game. But it would be every single sinner rather than one sinner and extra attacks. So the UI can already do this. Can the code handle it though? Well, we'll have to see. But no, we could do this. It would definitely be the weirdest, most head-burstingly complex thing ever, but no, you can do this.
깡참. 씹는 맛이 있는데?
The amount of power you would have.
다음은 어디요?
But I'm sure there's people already drawing up potentials for what happens if we could use literally every identity in the game at the same time. Like every single sinner on the board at once, which identities synergize with which, and how far you could possibly take it by having every single sinner, dip into the synergy. I'm sure there's people already making up crazy master plans.
잘됐다.
I'm sure there's somebody already with a Pepe Sylvia chart somewhere. Bloodborne Heathcliff just revives the entire team. The whole team. Interesting. A color or some form of finger. I'm not sure, but definitely a very big fight. A very big fight where it's very obvious that we need to use all of our strength to overcome this one thing, whatever it is.
무가치 않은 저항일 뿐이다.
내 피가 배고파했어.
Don't know what you'd do with it, but you could definitely...
지?
I could see it happen, and the interface can already handle it. Though you would also... This bar would also extend to have everybody's active passive, so you wouldn't have off the map passives either. So these wouldn't exist. This bar would extend all the way down to here, and then... You basically would have whatever fucking ego resources you want at that point.
깡참.
Shit, you could have multiple IDs that are literally just there to be engines for... Good lord. Good lord, imagine how powerful you could make Don Quixote's lifetime suit with that. Which is just a cannon that fires lust resource. Imagine if you had 12 IDs that were just continuously pumping out as much lust energy as possible. Dear God.
환상의 세계로 들어가 보죠.
Fucking Jupiter soup cannon.
선생님, 봤어요? 너무 쉽군요.
야호. 이기는 편, 우리
내
편.
앞을 막을 자는 없어.
Frankly, now that I'm imagining it, it would basically be like firing the Death Star cannon every single round with that. That's terrifying to consider. I hope we get to do it. And then, an ego from the first major fucking event about fighting in a KFC, fighting basically interdimensional KFC chicken, somehow becomes the ultimate weapon of the entire video game, or one of the ultimate weapons of the entire game and story. We went to KFC and we got the Death Star laser. And her ego passive converts other resources into lust. So yeah, even if you have like, what you'd want to have is IDs that have an S1 for lust. So then the most common card that comes up no matter what. And you would just have every single fucking ID generate lust as often as humanly possible to just build the Jupiter cannon that Don Quixote thus fires. That'd be terrifying, and I hope we get to do it, but to me that feels like this is the last fight in the game sort of thing. Like, this is the final boss fight, we have to fight something terrifying, I don't know what. Something caught my attention from the corner of my eye after another round of brutal combat. Huh? What's this now? Wait a minute. Also, I like how that looks like an eye, but you see it's crossed through its T. Is that the T Corp logo itself? That's actually very well designed. Because, you know, it looks like an hourglass, but when you break it apart, it's two T's upside down. Yes, that's the logo. That's actually very interestingly designed. I like that. We were on the final car adjacent to the freight car when we discovered that an odd box with a T Corp logo on it. Ah, 'tis the emblem of T Corp. It appears that it was broken in the fierceness of our battle. Did that chief executive guy, Hubert, right? Didn't he offhandedly mention something about partnering with other wings? Phillips 7 face fight. Fire the soup cannon every single round. Fucking Jesus Christ. Here we are directing orange beams into Don Quixote to fire the soup cannon like it's the Death Star, and then you just have Dante, sitting in the background like Grand Moff Tarkin or something. Everyone else is just in Imperial uniforms on a bus. The bus looks like a Star Destroyer. I guess they were in cahoots with W Corp too. Such collaborations are not limited to T Corp. It is often the case that a wing may work with another. It is only on rare occasions that they urgently request the assistance of less significant, lesser-known corporations such as our own Limbus company. Their choice appears to be quite irregular. Does anyone notice that guy hanging up there, or are we just kind of ignoring the whole Event Horizon, goo stuff? I mean, it's clearly people. I mean, it's very clearly people, but we're just gonna ignore that? Yeah, okay. Just another day in the city. Sound like W Corp's heydays are long behind them. Just like this wall that's falling apart, revealing what's behind. Oh, speaking of falling apart, I'm not talking about my emotional state. This room sure got messed up, huh? Never mind about my emotional state, says Roidia. Wow, this place is fucked, isn't it? Bloodfiends goo people to drink them. Ah, okay. It was difficult for me to ignore how Rhodia hurriedly swerved to a different subject as though she'd made a mistake. Even the tone of her voice shifted like she was catching herself. The various destroyed prosthetic parts covered in human remains indicate that this train car was boarded by several prosthetic-equipped fixers. I can't think about that right now. Let's deal with the task at hand first. Maybe these people are from the same office as that guy we met at the platform. Remember? He said he was warped over to T Corp on an expedition. Look, it's almost like they're all wearing standardized sets of prosthetics. Same make, same model, and everything. I believe I have read articles stating that certain offices do exclusively hire fixers with prosthetics. Wait, We were walking through the bloodied train car when we suddenly heard Sinclair's voice crack as though he saw something awful. Vi, he is the one we encountered at the platform. This is the fixer who suddenly started venting at us. Yeah, and he said something about going to T-Corp on an expedition and failing. They brought a whole train car full of fixers for this contract. I guess calling it an expedition was no exaggeration. There are over a dozen broken arms strewed about. They must have fought valiantly by replacing their broken arms with backup arms, perchance. A strategy, indeed. No, I think they're all just dead. Yeah, how can you fucking tell? They all look the same. That guy was faceless. Makes sense. That would explain all the broken prosthetic arms and legs in this car. Executive manager. This is likely an aftermath of a battle between the fixers and the bloodbags. There were many similar cases during the war. Those using prosthetics would simply let their bodies be destroyed in battle because they considered them to be disposable as long as there was cash remaining in their wallets. Of course, the blatant lack of self-preservation often led them to early graves. Maybe that's true. I see. There are more than a single possible interpretation of the same scene. There is more than a single possible interpretation. Wow, we have a lot of grammar errors in this event. I have lost count, but we're under 10, but just kind of barely, I think? There's a lot of errors that they must have rushed this. It's nice, but they must have rushed this. I will remember both of your inputs. That's a good attitude. Employees with attitudes like yours often made it to the end of the war. Yes, well, good for them. Faust answers Otis in an uncharacteristically snappy manner. Signs of fatigue were creeping into her pensive expression. You alright, Faust? It was rare to see any actual expression from her. I was starting to get worried. I am physically unharmed, yet, yes, I am alright. Oh no, I have to think for myself. I don't have access to Faustopedia. I can't just read all of the answers from all of the other timelines. However, I do not enjoy the circumstance which we find ourselves in. It is though I am casting nets to nowhere while lost and isolated in a blind sea. The novelty wore off, it seems like. Wow, it's interesting that I have a moment to think for myself and now I actually hate it. Fuck, shit, this is all, fuck, shit, god damn, I hate not having the internet. Sinclair lived in a very pro-prosthetic town. I mean, yes, but how can he tell? He must have... The man must have had something very distinct about him because he looked like a nameless, faceless mook design, and we have encountered very many such cases of nameless, faceless mook designs. I can usually complete these deductions within moments after establishing a few basic cross-references between the accessible information. Her voice was such a whisper for the second part of the sentence that even I could barely hear what she was saying. I know what you mean. Feeling like you're completely lost, obsessively casting a net after net over the black, rippleless lake in desperate hopes that one of them might pull something we could eat. No way to tell where we are. No way to tell if there's anything to eat under that glassy water surface. Grasping at straws, you know? Ishmael, why the fuck are you standing behind us? This sense I find mired in is not unlike your own. It is like lying my back over an unseen grave. For the reflection of radiance upon my eyes and the sanguine scent hanging from the tip of my olfactory tells me not of the forging path. Jesus Christ sang, could you have put that in a more dense way, good Lord? They're just saying words. Sang is just saying words at this point. Ish was kind of okay because haha, boats, nets, fish, water references. That was kind of understandable. Sang is just saying words now. Sang is just sitting there with a thesaurus and he's just pondering, what's the densest way I could put the sentence? It seemed that the first part of the sentence was well heard by Ishmael and Yisang. However, they walked up to her and shared a few words of consolation. By the way, I don't ever recall you talking like that, Faust. I don't know what it is, but you feel different from your usual self somehow. That is... Oh, I mean, I don't hate it. I'm actually glad to learn that you had a softer side. I mean, so do we in the audience, but everyone seems to... Well, that's the thing. Nobody really knows about the Faust, Faust internet. Nobody actually... We didn't know about, Faustopedia until she told us for certain. So everyone else is just kind of like, wow, Faust has emotions. Ain't that interesting and novel? So... We're bonding, kinda. It's better than Faust saying, look, I have no idea what we're doing, we're totally fucking screwed. It's better than that. This is an unseen side of yours. It's unfamiliar, yet quite fresh. Is that so? Faust's reply was curt. She closed her eyes. As per the information provided by the pamphlet at the platform, it is likely that this train is composed of 12 passenger cars and 1 freight car. Because we are on the 11th car at the moment, that leaves a single car between us and the freight car in which Mephistopheles is secured. Which means that there is a high likelihood that we will soon encounter the Blood Fiend, responsible for the creation of the blood bags aboard this train. It is in the bus. It is in the bus on the train. Vampires in a bus on a train. Just beyond that door. Dachi, shut up, no spoilers. Well, how strong could it be if its fodders are this weak? There were so many of them, but we practically smashed through the entire horde. A different, more accurate interpretation would be to say that a being capable of commanding a force as large as the bloodbags we have defeated should be considered a high-risk entity. As though it is not common knowledge. Although it is not common knowledge, there is a subcategory of fixers called blood fiend hunters who specialize in, yes, hunting blood fiends. Assuming that information is true, it can be inferred that blood fiends are difficult foes that require a certain expertise to defeat. Now that I'm thinking about it, if blood bags are like madness thralls to blood fiends, then they're kind of like their private army, right? A being of power who can create a force of their own without concern for lowered morale or desertion. Wartime or not, they will always make for formidable foes. The sinners each exchange various opinions with one another, possible strategies, estimations of the blood fiend's strength, and all of a sudden, fie this indecisive idleness! Our quest is to defeat the villain who hath brought such pain and misery upon this train, is it not? It may be vaporizing the lifeblood of the innocents as we speak. Mighty or feeble, I care not. I swear upon mine honor that I shall smite this foe, and let my hand of justice be the judge of their fates. Let us hasten now. Don Quixote's sudden outburst immediately put a stop to the chatter. Let's get on with it. She's not wrong. Besides, we have to deal with the blood fiend to complete our contract. With that, I opened the door leading to the final car of this train. But what's in the secret compartment of the secret box?
아무래도 다른 사우들의 목까지 해결해 버린
Where is this train a-going?
보상은 없는가?
The one who
잠시
lords.
다른 일을 하는 것이어도 좋으니.
Huh?
기차와 같이 달려나가겠소!
Whatever to load up the support files. Nope, too late! This room. What is with that look on thy faces? Thou standest in the audience of the prince. Where are thy obsequescent smile? Everyone's just saying words. He must be the cause of this outbreak. The blood fiend we must defeat. Fall to thy knees and grovel before royalty. Who the hell are you to make those demands? I shall impart this upon thee only once, so listen well. You may call me Cassetti, sixth kindred, a kindred of the sixth generation, the rightful prince in refuge from his family. Art thou the villain who hath brought such destruction and massacre upon this vessel? Thou art a chatty one, so rudely before your prince, yet I am feeling generous, for I am quite sated at the moment. As thou must have seen on thy journey here, this place is a hall of banquet for a feast most majestic. No matter how many blood bags I create, no matter how much I devour them, the humans just won't stop coming. I only enjoy what was cast into my maw. He dons a mask for the purpose of merrymaking. Thanks, Sang. If we're really going to exchange pleasantries, why don't you take that mask off? Do you not even know the basic etiquette? Oh, this mask won't come off. Can't take it off. Shouldn't take it off. There's no prince without the mask. Uh-huh. We're so ugly behind the mask. So we all decided to hide how repulsive we've become. But once I've drunk your blood full, then it'll all go back to how it used to be. Then I can unmask myself. Shit will never happen, volume 1. Shit that will never happen for 500, Alex. Who stitched that mask to your face skin? Not a half bad job. Of course, it's excellent, haha, because this mask was crafted by none other than the eminent, the barber himself, whose name I dare not even speak, but it hurts so much. Ow. No, I'm smiling. Look how hard I'm smiling and laughing. Ha ha ha! Yes, I am the prince, that is what I am. Are we talking to the mask or the guy behind the mask? I think we're talking to a mask, and the mask is very bad at hiding things. That's funny as hell, though, if you think about it. A mask that's very bad at hiding things. He's a bloody loon, isn't it? Alright, done with the giggles then. Get ready for the beating of your life. I enjoy things like you and your friends. Don't cry. Bawing and bowing and sniveling on the ground for your lives. Lunge at me instead, The aggression, the boiling blood. Oh, how I love the fire. What are you, daft? Look around. There's 13 of us and only one of you. Well, 12, I'm a non-combatant. I'm just here as part of management. Do not let your guard down, Heathcliff. This entity has managed to turn countless passengers of this train into his blood bags. I ain't letting my guard down, but we blasted through so many blood bags, we couldn't even keep count, didn't we? Couldn't even keep count. Oh, no, but the count is so important. I have to keep count of our visitors. Ah, yes, of course. I do remember to keep count of our dearest visitors. Yes, sir, I do. You have no idea how powerful I am, and I shall not relinquish my throne to thee from this budding kingdom. All I have to do is sit here and do nothing, and the bloodbags present themselves before me. There's no paradise like this out there. You have no idea what I did to create this place. Oh, how elated my forebear kindred would be, should they be here to witness what I have created. This cornucopia of abundance, this pleasure, oh, this freedom. He's just saying words. But this kingdom is mine. I made it. I'm not giving it away. This is rather curious. It appears that this blood fiend leaves this car only on rare occasions. Yet we have seen signs of his insidious influence throughout every car we have visited so far. Then what he meant by how the bloodbags present themselves before him has to be... Hold on a minute! Yeah? A figure suddenly and frantically charged into this car. It was Sasha, the fixer we ran into in one of the earlier cars. Cassetti shrinks into his throne at the sudden burst, terror apparent in his face. Ah, it is thee! By the... Hast thou truly journeyed here to assist us in our quest? Lo, that villain is the blood fiend responsible for the tragedies that hath transpired aboard this train. Help us slay that cur and eventually lead the passengers thou hast protected thus far out of this train. Blood fiends. What if there was more than a single blood fiend on board? One still capable of rational thought. Damn, you made it. You actually made it all the way back here. I guess the wings don't give out contracts to just anyone. Well, I fought my damnedest too, till I was the last one standing. What's she talking about? In the end, I stood alone with nothing but a single one of these 4 arms left. Kind of funny how the perspective on life can just completely flip when you're really, really in the shit. I think my last thoughts were, man, I don't want to die. So I fell on my knees and pleaded. I told him that, Don Quixote, watch out. I'd do anything to live. Blood rapidly crystallizes around Sasha like a suit of armor as she swung her greatsword at the sinners, striking them even before Faust finished her sentence. Oh boy! Wow! The robot girl with no spine! Ah! What? What did I say? I commanded you to give me a warning before jumping in like that. Don't you know how loud your stupid arms are? I thought the family had come for me. I'm sorry, Lord Cassetti. Spine needs a firmware update. Allow me to introduce my kindred to thee. Kindred to thee. To be the first of many since my escape. For the kingdom I intend to build. My kindred, my loyal squire. Who shall be at my side as I build a dynasty of my own. My family. Hey, wait a fucking second. Wait a minute, these words. Wait. Literally only one person here talks like that. Wait a minute. Lord Cassetti, I have intended to select the more powerful of the bunch to send to this car, as you have commanded me, but the humans in my car were all weaklings, so I present you this group from the first class car. Kindred. Are you even aware of the exact nature of a kindred? Nah, but I can tell you this. When I accepted my lord's blood into my veins, it was though I was reborn. As though I was reborn. Yeah, wow, man. Best lay of my life, let me tell you. I'm starting to hear dojins here. So guys, in the Limbus Company art community, where are these dojins? Here's one right here. We've inadvertently written one. Where are these dojins? I want to see them. Reborn. I see. A kindred to a blood fiend is like a sub-entity, similar to sub-entities created by distortions or abnormalities. It must have been desperation that drove you to accept that proposition without hesitation, despite the lack of relevant information. Maybe that's probably what was going through my head before I became a kindred. Thou hast been in cohorts with this villain all this time, as his underling. Even ere then, when we first laid eyes upon thee. Lady, you have no idea how much I freaked out when one of you asked me something about red eyes. Not it would have mattered if you did suspect me though, since my red eyes is just a prosthetic. Then the passengers who are under thy protection. Haven't I told you that the count matters? The longer the line, the better. Dozens of blood bags began shambling into the room from behind Sasha. A smaller one among them stood out to me. Oh no. My mind immediately snapped to the child who grabbed Don Quixote's coattails. Oh no. Suffering. I knew that the passengers were dead the moment we realized Sasha was a blood fiend. But this, I really, really hoped that I wouldn't have to face this reality. Not like this. It's okay though. Everyone will probably be actually, well, they're all blood. We don't really know if anyone's actually salvageable on this crazy ride here. So, best kill everyone first and then see what happens. We really need to give Dante a gun. We need, yeah, the second command seal for Dante, gun. There was a child. Yep, Little Runt wanted to be a fixer if she got to grow up. Good thing she won't, though. I can tell you on good authority that living as a blood bag is way better than the drudgery that is the life of a fixer. Believe me, I know. Hold thy vile tongue. Dreaming of becoming a famous, respected fixer and an actor of justice. It's all just a stupid pipe dream that always ends in crushing disappointment or a really, really early grave. Silence! Silence! Don Quixote did not give Sasha time to finish her sentence. She was already charging at full speed. She was already charging full speed at her with her lance drum. Guys. So guys. So guys, you know when Don Quixote tilted at a windmill, he imagined it as a multi-armed giant? Multi-armed. Swinging... Multiple arms with sword, prosthetic fixer with multiple arm. Don Quixote charging. Brick wall. I see what they did, the sons of bitch. That's brilliant though. That they just kind of slid that underneath there. Just son of a bitch. Anyway. Son of a bitch. That was brilliantly like contorted to fit in here when you wouldn't expect it. But nope. Yep, there it is. Oh, okay, abnormality fight. We're gonna ignore the counter. That is a struggling.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
Pretty banger backing track. These guys don't look too strong, which is a concern. Hey, also, wait a minute, guys. Doesn't Don Quixote have an ego that's the blood of blood fiends? What's going on here? Don't spoil it. But what's going on here?
승객이 딱콩 한 방 먹였어.
Okay, that's good. We're gonna ignore the counter like smart, reasonable people. Actually, over there. Yeah, dunk on that guy.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
꿈을 꾸러 가도
무가치 한 저항일 뿐.
내 피가 배고파 했어. 잘 됐다. 그치?
Well, Faust is incredibly slow. That's a bit annoying, but okay, so... No, okay. Defend. And then punch.
신속히 처리하죠.
쉬시게.
We could survive one hit from that, I think.
재밌네요.
Okay, paralyzed, but, well, she's alive, and we're reducing the enemy numbers on the field. Thank you, maid.
피 맞지?
Thank you, maid Ryoshu. How wonderful from the maid.
내 피가 배고파 했어.
However, there are now more things on the field. Very bad. Also, we're just gonna... Okay, what's the scariest thing here? 13, 14. That one. Okay, so that attack. We're just gonna... No. This might get a little touchy. Unfortunately, it looks like Faust is the weakest link here. Very sad. Well, we're just gonna have to absorb it. We'll be fine.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
침묵하라.
카론, 기다리는 거 못해. 100초만 기다려줄게.
Okay, holding firm, and now Dawn can actually deploy Rip Space, which is, yeah, it's pretty good. Let's go do that. What do you mean, hopeless? Oh, Lord. I thought it was actually going to get through, but okay. Yeah, those are the mooks back. So, yeah, it looks like, yeah, so Faust and Encore, Mersault are definitely showing their, you know, kind of not so great here. But like I said, I just kind of threw a team together and we just kind of went with it.
신속히
This is the first time I'm actually encountering a problem that can't just be, you know, beaten over. Or rather, a problem that may look like I can't just beat over it. It's still manageable, and Encore Result is incredibly tanky, so we're probably fine. I said probably fine. There we go, rip shit. That's what we want to see. Okay, then. So, Actually, well, somebody's got to kill Sasha over here, guys. Oh, right. Mersault has a counter. I keep forgetting that. Okay, what's the most decisive attack I can... This one. Maid, clean up, please. Thank you. 3s. That means that somebody has to block with a dodge.
전투응대에 나선
Squish.
즉시 꿈을
Enough of that.
이단을 정화했다.
야호. 이기는 편, 우리 편.
Okay.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어. 다음은 어디요? 야호. 이기는 편, 내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
즉시 꿈을 꾸러 가도록.
Ah! Unbelievable. My first kindred to be created without their authorization is a bumbling fool. I pray for your forgiveness, my parent. Begone from my sight. At least thou hast brought me blood bags for sustenance. Yet it must be the responsibility of a parent to clean up the mess of his child. What a load of shit. Wow, I'm surprised she actually said it and didn't abbreviate it. Well, thanks, Ryoshu. I know that took effort. You didn't just abbreviate it. With that, Cassetti reached toward the pile of blood bags on the ground and... Oh. Oh, we're not done yet. Ha! Oh, what abundance! I had nearly forgotten this sensation. We're getting really very interesting with the animations here. And an armor of hardened blood materialized over the Blood Fiend's body. His sheer aggression and hatred was palpable enough to make our skin crawl. It appears that he has empowered himself by reaping their blood. Though my power is yet to fully return, this magnificent armor is quite befitting of a parade for the prince who hath become a king. Wouldst thou agree? Yes, sir. Yes, you do. Of course you do. Challenge me now, O rebels. Challenge thy king.
내 피가 배고파했어.
Wow, man, he rolled all fours. Whoa.
그치?
Anyway. She's going... All of that's going to Faust. That's gonna be kind of bad. Well, then again, one attack is too slow, so... Actually, unfortunately, two attacks are too slow. Don, how much energy? You got enough. Actually, no. Don, no, she's only got 3. Shit. Well, unfortunately, Faust may be dead and also goes after him. So, oops. Well, wow, that's very sad. We can't redirect that at all, and I can't stop the attack. Yeah, unfortunately, Faust is gonna die. Very sad. That's also not good.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
Well, I guess I should have popped that last round. That probably would have saved us.
침묵하라.
Actually, well, she at least gets that attack off first.
이 전투는 승리.
Actually, that might, well, it's probably not going to heal her, but at least that gets Faust's use out of the way. And then, actually, no, that killed her.
재밌네요.
Went out with a bang. Got it. Thanks, Faust.
충격이 조용해졌어. 조금 있다. 째깍째깍 해줘야 돼.
Entirely acceptable way to go out. Went out with honor. Confirmed.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
Okay, so speed advantage. We're gonna maintain that, and hopefully, then proceed to beat the ever-loving shit out of it.
재밌네요.
알쏭달쏭해. 뭐가 나올지 모르겠어.
AoE. Well, that's gotta get shit canned. Unopposed. Also, Read. Okay. Okay. Unclashable. Oh, okay. Mechanical spoilers, this can be dodged. Does not get staggered this turn, ends turn when after using this skill. It is a unclashable at the end of the round. Defense everyone. Ah. Well, aside from Mersault, he could tank it though. Mersault's just gonna clap back.
전투응대에 나선다.
늦으면 내 피랑 먼저 갈
Mersault
거야.
did not, in fact, clap back. What the fuck, Mersault? Anyway. Well, actually, you know what? Well, I suppose I should probably use this. That's probably a good idea considering the situation. Well, he's got a counter, so that'll work out.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
전부 지져버리겠네.
Joke's on you, you're attacking my tank! Ah, yes, the tank is the only one with bleed, and then he will be forced to prioritize him. Joke's on you, it's fucking Ed
기다리는 거 못해.
Mersault.
100초만 기다려줄게.
Shrugging off damage is what he does! Speaking of which... It don't matter, none of this matters.
양참.
He even gets a shield!
수많은 것들이
He even got a shield from fucking Sang's passive.
땅이 떨리고 있어. 카룬도 흔들흔들.
Bloodthirst. Wait a minute. Gain 1 fatigue and damage up. Ah. I believe I have found his failure state. Quick, everyone! Dump damage!
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
And yes, the dwindling sanity meter as well. It's going down. It's going to reach 45 this round. But what happens when he gets to know sanity?
침묵하라.
카론, 기다리는 거 못해.
Panic.
100초만 기다려줄게.
That didn't stop any of his attacks, though. That's very sad. That's funny, however, it didn't actually stop any of his attacks.
전투응대에 나선다.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
Oh, he didn't get the
땅이
stagger.
떨리고 있어.
Ah, you had one
근데
job.
안 돼.
Well, anyway,
참여하게 되리라.
well, that means that we have a full round of damage and a stagger turn.
공격을 준비.
Thanks, maid. So we have everything in this round is now stagger, and the next round is also going to be stagger. If he survives.
야호.
Nope. Okay.
이기는 편, 우리 편.
Maid, kill.
양참.
영원한 잠으로 인도하지.
Good. Lovely maid. Wonderful when she listens to commands. Fantastic. Absolutely wonderful handiwork, Maid Ryoshu. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Yes, my maid's quite good at that. Yes, you know, some may say it's still nobility, but well, I'd rather be a master with a good squad of maids than a lord with knights. It's kind of the same thing, but better. Yes, I love your boiling human blood, but this is too painful. This guy keeps regenerating no matter how many times we tear him to pieces. Well, he can't die because warp train. This... I don't know if we can... The mental fatigue finally got to Gregor and Sinclair, who collapsed to the ground. The strange environment of warp trains was proving to be a significant help to the Blood Fiend's regenerative ability. This fight's been dragging on even longer than our battles at K-Corp. At the K-Corp border checkpoint. Or the basement of Wuthering Heights. No, it hasn't, but then again, I suppose they're trying to get that across. I knew that the sinners had all grown stronger since then, but I feel as though I stood before an impenetrable wall. Except... Don Quixote continues to wildly pummel the Blood Fiend with her lance, breaking, stabbing, and crushing him every time a body part regenerated. But Don Quixote has chosen violence. I am so hungry. Ridiculous! Thy hunger is no justification for this massacre thou hast wrought. Shut up, you don't understand! You don't know how awful it is to survive on that disgusting blood for 200... No, I don't even want to think about it! Shut up, be quiet, no! I'm sorry, please, just let me have a sip. Just the smallest sip, please. Just a tiny crumb. It's all useless, no matter how many times you stab me. I shouldn't stop until all thy flesh and bone and organs are crushed into viscous, shapeless mush, never to become whole again. But the Blood Fiend's regeneration is powerful. He's regenerating as fast as Don Quixote's destroying him. He's regenerating at an insane rate. We can't... my kindred! My child! Mephi wants a treat. Dachi, shut up and stop spoiling things. But yes, feed him to the bus! Into the blender! So do thy responsibilities. The blessings of a parent must be repaid. No. What can I do? Find their weakness, break their anchor, make them kneel and grovel before me in desperation, just as you had. Quick, throw him into the blender. Wait, I think I've got an idea. Sasha began looking around wildly, surprised by Cassetti's sudden command. It's that the way they fight reminds me a lot of the way we use the way we prosthetic using fixers fight. Huh? Just as prosthetic fixers slowly lose their sense of self-preservation, their limbs becoming no more important than tools to be replaced, these idiots act with such abandon as if they have multiple lives to burn through. With nothing to protect, they throw themselves wildly into battle like moths to a flame, and forget to look after what's really important, like this little thing. Can I use my command seal right now? With one of her remaining arms, Sasha picked up the master key card Faust showed her in one of the previous cars. Don Quixote, stop her now! Oh, my parent, I offer this gift to you. Don Quixote immediately leaped at the fixer, but one of her arms struck her away with great force. Ishmael and Mersault, who had been holding Cassetti down, were no match for his strength without Don Quixote's fury. The Blood Fiend threw them both to the side and grabbed the key card. This is the key to the first-class cars, my lord. With this, grow your army of bloodbags to bring glory to the kingdom. No. No! Why didn't I think of something? Why didn't I have the key card? Why didn't Faust give me the key card? I'm kind of important and in the back row here. I'm back here in the command trench. Wouldn't it be safe there? Cassetti examines the master key card with clear interest. Without that key card, we'll be trapped inside this train for thousands of years until it reaches its destination. Dante, I believe myself to be trying my utmost to overcome this adversity, without access to Faustus' knowledge and intelligence. However, with our loss of the master key card, the uncertainty of this circumstance has greatly exacerbated. At the origin of this obstacle, Faust took a deep breath as if she was about to take a deep dive into the source of all this trouble. Must be my over-reliance on Faust. Maybe, perhaps, but we could just run him over with the bus real quick. I'm sure that could work. From what I can tell, Faust has always been operating based on information she received from Faust. So a situation like this, where she has to make decisions on her own, has to be unfamiliar to her. Yes. It'd be nice if somebody had a gun. Can I have a gun? Can I have a gun? Can you give me, like, super awesome, give me like a flintlock pistol that's loaded with all the magic bullshit the city can offer. I only get to fire it like once or twice, but you know, when I do, whatever's in front of us fucking dies. Come on, it'll be awesome. Come on, give me a gun with caster shells. It'll be great. But Faust is an admirable sinner, with or without Faust. I've been thinking of the same thing about myself, actually, that I might be relying too much on that perfect Faust. But even without Faust, you still gave us good directions to follow after analyzing the information we brought you. Maybe uncertainty itself doesn't always have to be a problem for us. Remember, thus the lack of plan itself becomes the plan. You said it yourself. I see. Indeed. Among many, I am a Faust that believes in uncertainty. Our loss of the master key card is but one of innumerable uncertain variables in the equation. The constant is, however, that the Blood Fiend is just as desperate as we are. Thus, the only option left that remains to present itself is to compromise. You there! Looks like thou art the one who's been regenerating your friends. Stop doing that, alright? Don't heal a single one of them. Or I'll smash your precious key to pieces. You won't do that. You'll be stuck here for a million gajillion years. Manager Esquire, compromise with a villain as vile as that cur? I didn't have the time to regenerate Don Quixote's severe injuries just yet, and the rest of the sinners were already unconscious. The only sinner who could still move and talk normally was Faust, whom I had just rewound the clock for. Yeah, let's do that. Very well. Then, Cassetti, why don't we move this conversation to a different location? How about let's go on a bus. You wanna go on a bus? It'll be real cool. You can ride in the trunk. Only I will accompany Dante to this negotiation. I will make my intentions clear now. Dante and I will not attack you there. There is no doubt in my mind that Cassetti must be absolutely exhausted by the unending barrage of attacks from Don Quixote and the sinners. Faust's suggestion that we move this conversation to a different place without the sinners must have been a sweet one. Just you two, huh? Yes. The freight car is immediately adjacent to this one. That is where we will further discuss what we each have to offer one another. You're going in the fucking blender. That clock must be thy monarch then. And thou art one of the retainers. Yes, whatever the hell that means. Correct. Very well. This will be a royal debate then. It is only right that a royalty talks to no one else but one who is his equal. Manager Esquire, we'll be back in a minute. Don Quixote. Don. We'll handle this. Thus we left the incapacitated sinners and Don Quixote, who watched with hollow, despondent eyes as we walked away. We carefully made our way to the freight car. Don Quixote, don't worry. We're gonna totally throw him in the blender. So Faust, what are we doing in this freight car again? Dante, this will be my first attempt at a gamble. But Faust, this train don't carry no gamblers. This train don't carry no Actually, it does. We're all fucking gambling here. We're putting him in the blender, aren't we? We're putting him in the blender. That's the plan. Will it blend? Blood fiends. Will it blend? What? With that, the door closed shut behind us. Again, what we're going to do is we're going to put him in the blender. How many boxes will he be worth? How many fucking 3 stars are we gonna get?
정리는 끝났어.
How many loonies is that guy worth?
다음 정리까지는 좀 잠들고 싶군.
What happens if we throw him in the blender? What will come of this? Negotiation. Yes, we will end on negotiations. We're on the bus. You will not leave this bus alive. Or we will lead him into the back rooms and he will be lost forever in whatever the fuck is down the hallways. Oh, look, event currency. Yes, a lot of it. However, I've gotten most of it. Actually, shit, that was a lot of event currency. Well, hell, if I keep going, I can get the funny banner. But, I'll wait because this might wind up being cool. I would like to know if I want to, whatchamacallit, I would like to see if I actually want to, if I want to remember this event fondly or not. But apparently, yeah, that's our event stage. Okay. Grab Heath. No, shh. I also gotta farm the event, but shh, we have a month. The negotiation. It's negotiating between you and the blender! It's the negotiation for which button we should press on the blender. Puree? Pulse? Mince! Which one? So this passageway leads straight into Mephistopheles. This is where it all started. This stupid bus awoke me from my slumber. If only this bus hadn't completely filled up the freight car. I wasn't planning to start the parade so soon, or create a kindred here. Dante. The connection has been restored. In the bus. Ah. Dante. What is it, Faust? I have bars in here. I have cellular reception inside this singular location. Faust is logged in. Boop. Connection? The suddenness of her statement briefly knocked me off my train of thought. I looked at her and cocked my head in confusion, and she replied with an even quieter whisper without looking away from the blood feed. Boarding Mephistopheles has re-established my connection to Faust. Yep. I have bars in here. We've got Wi-Fi on the bus. Did you know that this would work? No, and as I have stated before, this was as a pure incalculable gamble based on my own uncertain hypothesis. What happens if we have the bullshit interdimensional bus, you know, with the engine that is basically mirror tech? What happens then? Oh, right. The bus is basically mirror tech, and I connect through more or less what appears to be mirrors. So, clearly, this is a cell tower. This success helps me somewhat comprehend Miss Roydia's fascination with gambling. It's fun when we win like that. It's fun when we tell fate to go fuck itself, isn't it? A faint smile appeared on Faust's lips for a moment before fading away. Now that the connection has been re-established, I would like to make a complaint against the Gesellschaft management regarding the fact that they neglected to list the information pertaining to the loss of connection within the interiors of the warp trains. However, finding a solution to the situation takes precedence. I have much reason to believe that their omission was done on purpose, but I hope such is not the case. You bastards. Signed, Network Administrator. Faust gently advanced towards the Blood Fiend. Let us discuss the details of our compromise. What are you willing to accept in return for the Master Keycard? If thou wert just anyone, I would have wished to turn thee all into blood bags and drink every last drop of thy blood, but thou art unlike a common person. My wish is to maintain the secrecy this kingdom of mine for as long as possible. Yet another grammatical error. Holy shit. And thine wish is to leave this place, right? I mean, hell, even when we're doing fucking rustic old English, we're still grammatically fucking up. Once I relinquish to thee this keycard, and once thou returnest to your first-class seats, we will live here happily ever after, like nothing happened. That's not quite how that's going to work, but we'll get the keycard from you, and then you're going into the blender. You'll like it in there, it's safe. And when the train gets there, you'll get off the train. Everything goes back to the way they're supposed to be. You're supposed to be. How's that for a deal? Like nothing happened. Faust, what about the job we were contracted to do in the first place? Our memories and any signs of battle will be entirely erased upon our arrival. We will have no way to relay our news, whether one of success or failure. If we had the means to defeat him, then at least W Corp would inform us that our contract was successful after the fact. However, this current scenario will leave us with nothing to show for it, not even the smallest hint, and the contract will end in a failure. However, what takes precedence over the contract is you and I of the sinner's psychological stability. It is not like we've always been successful, but that was something I could live with. But what about the other passengers of this train, and its future passengers? I remember the look up on Don Quixote's face whenever we would come across these inevitable forms of injustice. Faust does not reply, yet the lack of a reply was a reply all its own. Are we going to have to let them die? Innocent lives will be lost, but we cannot prioritize the lives over our safety. That must be Faust and the company's policy. And yet, ow. I shouldn't allow this! Don, the adults are talking here. This is a very, we're negotiating here, even though Don does not negotiate with terrorists, but oh no. Don? I thought her wounds were too severe for her to even crawl, let alone walk, but with sheer will, she pushed herself through the pain to reach the freight car. I will not tolerate this! We cannot let this vile wretch live and turn a blind eye to everything he's done! It's her again! What do you... What, you want to stay here for what's essentially an eternity within this train? I know the truth. Everything hinges on this key, doesn't it? As soon as I break this in half, you'll have to spend eons inside this. I care not. I would welcome the eons should it means eons of permanence for thee. Or penance for thee, right. 'Tis much preferable to letting thy villainy go unanswered. Let this place be the site of thine eternal judgment. Faust and I grabbed Don Quixote. She'd normally be strong enough to wiggle free of our grips, but she's already pushed herself beyond the limits merely by walking here. Faust, unhand me! Thou mustn't let him live, Manager Esquire. Don Quixote, letting him destroy that key means that you'll be condemning the sinners to thousands of years of torment. Then I shall fill the millennia with tales of legend I have read in magazines. No time, however, infinite, shall be too great to overcome should we endeavor as one. Certainly you are aware that your suggestion is no solution at all, Don Quixote. Then there has to be another way. No? Thou art both possessors of great wisdom. Faust, Manager Esquire, is there truly no path in which we may bring justice to the villain and the sinners remain unharmed? Her struggles begin to wane, but this was no acceptance. This was dejection. Wait, Don Quixote, no! In the commotion, we failed to notice that the Blood Fiend had been quietly advancing at us. We let Don Quixote go at the last second. But we were a second too late. Oh no. Oh my dearest parent. Forgive my transgressions of creating another without thy sanction. Oh no! Thou shalt become the second kindred of mine. That probably won't work. Oh, I would assume that wouldn't work because memes. Nothing seems to work on us and we reversed literally everything. However, oh no! Cassetti screams incoherently as he leaps onto Don Quixote, piercing her neck with his fangs before we even had the chance to do anything. Oh, I did not expect this to be the solution. Faust, what do you mean? The solution? According to this information I had viewed in the past and once again just now, it's... Dante, take cover behind me and the remaining take cover behind me and remain absolutely still. Oh no. Oh no. And please, do note that the other sinners must never hear a word of what is about to happen. Oh. Don Quixote levitates slightly into the air, the strings of her shoes unraveling as they slip off her feet on their own. Oh no. She looks on with bewilderment as her running shoes fall to the floor. And screams in horror. My horse! I've always had this question swirling in the unfocused backstage of my mind. That's a very good way of putting the subconscious. Why are you always so protective of those running shoes, Don Quixote? Running shoes? Ah, dost thou speak of our dear Rocinante? Yeah, those. I have battled through thick and thin, feast and famine with dear Rocinante. In sorrow and in joy, no matter the brutality of trials that have struck me. It hath been a loyal steed by my side for however long it hath been in existence. She doesn't know when she got them? Ah, Manager Esquire, wherefore hast thou not saluted Rocinante as well? This may be a rare auspicious occasion to do so. What? A rather auspicious... What? Nope, I think I'm good. Ah, be not so bashful. Go on. Go on ahead. Look, Stinky Small Girl is torturing TikTok with Stinky. Stinky they are not. Scuffed as they may appear, Rocinante is in pristine condition. Also, thou shalt not aggress me as small Evacuate. Evacuate. Don Quixote, don't tell me you go to sleep wearing those running shoes. I mean, Rocinante. Oh, I I have always been quite certain that someone so esteemed as thee, Manager Esquire, would care to ask me how Rocinante, again, where are we? What's the deal with the horse? I didn't mention that this question was inspired by numerous eyewitness reports from other sinners who saw her wandering the halls in her pajamas, wearing Rocinante. Okay, so she wears it in her sleep. What is the deal? Verily, Rocinante and I remain bound together, even in slumber. There shall be no separating the two of us. We are bound not by need or want. We are simply bound together through plight and delight. Don? What's with the shoes, Don? Now that I think about it, every single identity of Don Quixote's was also wearing those pair of running shoes. Rocinante. Have you ever taken them off? Take them off? Fie, whatever dost thou mean? As in, detach Rocinante from my body? 'Tis a very odd insinuation thou makest. She looks at me with puzzled eyes, as though taking those pairs of running shoes off was somehow an inconceivable idea. They were something much more than just her favorite pair of running shoes. Her odd attitude of treating something so far removed from common sense as something completely ordinary. I would have wrote it off as she's crazy, but so, Don, where have you gotten those airs from? Don, where did you buy those Jordans? Don, what are those shoes? What does Rocinante mean to Don Quixote? What is the deal? What even is that thing? Oh. An overwhelmingly powerful pressure suddenly explodes, radiating in all directions. As the metallic stench of blood suffocates the bus, filling every corner of it with its sickening horror. Then, darkness. Oh. No, that's impossible. In all-absorbing darkness, voice is our only light. You are the second kindred. How dare you? I should have felt your presence. I do think I saw a faint outline of an aura. I see a red aura and a long fur adornment of sorts. Through the shimmering aura, I think I saw red eyes. Also note that Virgilius recruited Don personally. Don Quixote, question mark, you have committed the sin of vital impiety, transgressor. Filial impiety? Word. I know that voice, but I also don't. I've never heard it in such a low, imposing tone before. It speaks towards the lesser being. The blood fiend, shriveled and kneeling, trembling, pathetic. Mercy, O venerated ancestor. I beg for mercy of the second kindred. I beg for the mercy of the second kindred. I beg. Insolent worm. He is dead. Crimson droplets of blood slowly rise out of the blood fiend's mouth before congealing and sealing his mouth shut. No language worming its way out of your maw shall be worth my ears. No. To commit the sin of what is that word? Filial impiety by attempting to travel against the bloodstream to commit such abomination against your ancestor. I cannot well sanction your impudence of continued existence. Feel, Leo. Coagulate, then melt away. Cassetti's body begins liquefying into a slick stream of blood. His form curdling and crumbling, then dripping to the ground. Rapidly, yet ponderously, like that ice cream Don Quixote loves so much, melting away on the floor, heated under the searing sun. I'm melting! I'm melting! Anyway, so Don Quixote is a... Guys, is Don Quixote literally a 2,000-year-old vampire? Guys, depending on how you draw, you could totally do the lolly thing now. Guys, are we using that joke now? Is she literally a... Is Don Quixote literally a 2,000-year-old vampire princess? Ah. You. Don Quixote turned to look at me, who was still on the ground after being thrown by the shockwave. And with a cryptic look of pity, she uttered something. Indeed, you must be the promised timepiece. That's some very interesting hair she's got going on there. This is going to be a very interesting outfit reveal. I can tell this already. By the way, Faust got red misted. Oh. Something I couldn't quite understand. Rocinante, to me. Rocinante, I beseech you. I carefully reached out, grabbed her shoes, and slipped them onto her bare feet one by one. Ah. One day. She gasped, stumbled, and slumped to the ground. Okay, so apparently the shoes are some form of, sealing spell? Or something? So Sasha is still alive because she was in the corner. Limiter. Or, yeah, some form of limiting device so Don Quixote wouldn't go 2,000-year-old vampire lolly on people. I like her hair, though. That looks very interesting, even though we can only see a silhouette of it. That's very... I'm sure that... I'm certain once we see that next chapter, it's going to be very interesting. But okay. So that's a twist I didn't see coming. Don Quixote is literally a 2,000-year-old vampire princess. Okay, that's quite the twist. Uncertainty. Sometime later... Can somebody explain what just happened in a way that makes sense? I knew the sinners would all be shocked and confused. After all, when they, including Faust and Don Quixote, all came back to life after I rewound the clock, all that remained was the destroyed door to the freight car and the disgusting obliterated remains of what was once Cassetti. I threw him into the blender. I will use that excuse now. We threw him into the blender. Mephi didn't quite like that, but the blender still works. We're good. Did it blend? Yes. Source, trust me, bro. It did in fact blend. Most personnel had lost consciousness from the mental stress of prolonged battle against the Blood Fiend. Whatever measure it was that the manager has taken, it can be said that it was appropriate. I guess so. Well, good work, everyone. However, the definition of most personal excludes 3 individuals. Most personnel excludes 3 individuals. Therefore, it would be most appropriate to direct any questions to them. Wait. Who are those 3? Faust, the manager, and Don Quixote, who is still unconscious. Huh? Really? The 3 of you? Wow, you were spot on. Haha, when did you even have time to notice that? Oh boy. I have identified the 3 conscious individuals by analyzing their walking cadence and voices, moments before my loss of consciousness. You were fine when I dropped, when I clocked out, so you probably were still alive. Right, so what's going on with the lass? Why is she out cold? She appears to be in a state of deep slumber, as she is not at a risk of death. She will be waking up soon. I remember everything, of course. Don Quixote's sudden transformation, how she practically erased the Blood Fiend and his kindred from the world without even moving a finger. Oh, right, no, so Sasha's dead. Sasha was dematerialized, the end. But I also remember Faust's last words. Please do note that other sinners must never hear a word of what is about to happen. Don Quixote was unconscious, and Faust was answering every question with silence. It was only natural that their eyes would fall on me. That's, Wait, that reminds me. Where's the key card? Last I remember, it was in Cassetti's hands. Who is in a far more presentable state than he was before. You're smiling, Ryoshu. Try not to enjoy the pile of goo over there too much. Wait, so what about the key card he was holding, though? Okay, also, this is something we have to question ourselves here. Vampires here, in the city, and Don Quixote being an extraordinarily old vampire. Does Don Quixote secretly know what life was like outside the city before whatever fucking apocalypse happened that ruined the entire world happened? Does she know what the outskirts looked like before whatever fucking apocalypse caused this whole world to exist as it is came from? Is that where the whole vampire thing comes from? Let's ask the 2,000-year-old vampire lolly. I swear to God. I swear to God, Deku might have a field day with this one. She is likely older than Lobotomy Corp, and potentially, right, so... Oh, I hear Deco already. I hear that man frantically in a corner drawing Don Quixote and Romelia Scarlet's outfits. I mean, the city is like underworld world of grimdark gothic. Yes, but clearly what's going on in the outskirts isn't normal. See the mutants and whatnot, and the city had to be built, and the city was constructed as there are railroads that lead to the city. So my thinking is, though it has never been explained, that something fucking really bad happened to the world at some point, and the survivors eventually banded together, or rather, what is effectively the hand and, the wings of the city, eventually banded together and constructed the city, apparently fucking over the mutants in the process for constructing it, walled that shit off, and now they're just here. So, does she know? Does she know what the fuck happened? Don Quixote, what was the apocalypse like? Wait, did Lobotomy Corporation did not a lot of Lobotomy company explain it? No? Was it late in Lobotomy Corp? I don't think that Lobotomy Corporation explained anything terribly well. Maybe Don's family were involved? Well, that's the thing, though. What exactly... we know the Blood Fiends are emotional vampires or whatever the fuck's going on there. So they are vampires, but what are vampires in retrospect to whatever fucking apocalypse happened? Are they some kind of strange experiment to create immortality beforehand? Were they a result of humanity gone mad with whatever fucking power they had before the whatever apocalypse happened? Because something terrible happened, clearly. Lobotomy Corp was pretty vague about the history of the world outside the city. Yes, we kind of just know diddly dick about the outskirts, other than shit's weird and anomalous out there. So, my question is this. What form of horrible mutated thing or science experiment is a vampire here? Are they legit vampires? Or is Nosferatu, king of king vampires, basically, was that some kind of experiment before whatever the fuck happened? What happened before Second Impact, guys? What was Second Impact, and what the fuck did the world look like before Second Impact? This is my question, to phrase it in a way I will understand. Or phrase it in a way you can kind of grasp. You, not me, you. Funny you mentioned that name. Yeah, somebody mentioned that name before, and I figured we were going all the way back to Nosferatu in terms of, horrifying things. It has been half liquefied. The remains have melded with his finger bones. It appears to have become one with the middle phalanges. Phalanges? Wait, oh. Oh no. Everyone calm down. Calm down. I said calm down. I really should have packed more cigarettes, huh? Oh boy. Used to his middle finger. How about we force one of these doors open? The master keycard is not an absolutely necessary element to resolving the situation. How? It will require approximately 5 hours to formulate and proceed with an explanation in a manner that will allow the sinners to fully comprehend the exact how of this methodology. Therefore, it will be delivered to you in a digestible, summarized format. We're just gonna go into the back rooms and sleep. Well, that was short-lived. She's acted all smug again. She's on the internet. She's having arguments with other Wikipedia editors. Shh, give her a minute. That made all your preconceptions of the next canto utterly thrown out. Yes! But the Knight of the Mirrors is quite interesting, though. And you saw what they did, though, right? With the whole Sasha being the multi-armed giant thing. They're still utilizing Don Quixote. But the question is, how? They're still utilizing Don Quixote in major elements of Don Quixote. So the question is, how does that all loop into things? And are they pulling on the play? But clearly, what they're also doing is Vampire the Masquerade, which is apparently the curveball here. That's apparently part of the curveball for, it's Don Quixote, but vampires. Ooh, 2,000-year-old vampire princess. With really wavy, messy hair. We can utilize the back door of Mephistopheles. The steely confidence in her declaration was more than enough to win us all over. So we headed to the corridor past the back door, Don Quixote slung over one of our shoulders, and arrived at our destination. Yeah, we just went to bed inside the back rooms, which is a incorporeal place. Or we just went through the so we used the back door teleporter to teleport out of the warp train to appear on the station platform before the 10-second wait time of the train arrives at the destination. So we just warped out of it. No, it's funnier. I can't not ask what happened after seeing the state you were all in. Sandy pitter. What? Grains of sand and seashell-like things fell with every step the sinners took. What? Ask someone after me. To explain it can... Grains of sand roll about in my throat with every word spoken. I'm sure everyone hates sand now. It's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere. So how did Daru Dude fucking help us here? Some time ago, Faust explained the simpler gist of the plan as we made our way to the back door. To put it simply, we will spend the time at a space disconnected from the train. The train should be arriving at its destination in approximately 10 seconds, going by the A-Corp timescale. And all we must do is remain somewhere in our original dimension for that duration. And with that, Faust came to a sudden stop in the middle of one of the corridors. Wait, are you seriously just gonna open that door with this many doors in here? Are you sure that's the right one? Yes, this is the correct door. Safety is completely insured. Lass, at least tell us what's past that door. I did not bother verifying that particular information myself. Why did you do that? I wanted it to be a surprise. It is necessary for future endeavors that I gain the experience of encountering something completely unexpected. Yes, I wanted it to be a surprise. Isn't it fun? It's so novel. It's like I'm living again. Walks into whatever the fuck is behind there. This is nice development for Faust. 2,000-year-old vampire lolly, Don Quixote aside. Very interesting on that one, but this is very interesting for Faust. What? Oh, wait! Faust did not wait for Heathcliff to finish his sentence before jerking the door wide open. Now, please enter through this door. With Faust's stern command, we quickly walked into a building that looked like a derelict abandoned hospital of sorts. Oh no, well, hey, we just got out of Silent Hill. Wait, what? I think we walked into middle of a sandstorm. Huh? Aren't we supposed to be indoors? How the heck is this even happening? Ah, I can't open my eyes! I got sand in my mouth. Wait, no way, is this a sandstorm? But aren't we inside a building? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The sinners blurted out colorful series of complaints, trying to cover themselves in the blasting sandstorm. But Faust continued to count in that same time, in different rhythm before dragging us out of there just as urgently as she herded us in. So, yep, good. We killed an eternity, guys. All we had to do was sit in a sandstorm for about 3 seconds. Well, actually, no, 10 seconds. What is that sandstorm? We'll find out next time, I guess. It's Kenshin. We went to Mars for like 10 seconds. We managed to return safe and sound to the interiors of the warp train as it arrived at the P-Corp platforms. Okay, so that's how we did it. So we just kind of rubber banded into normal time. Because time passes slower inside the warp train, we just went out to the real world somewhere else for about 10 seconds. And since the time is accelerated to normal speed out there, that 10 seconds was the literal fucking eternity on the train. And then we come back in, and the eternity has passed because... time compression! We turbo cheated. Yep. We turbo cheated. Good to know that we can do that, though. Now, can I have a gun next time? As the train was still getting cleaned up, that is. And with our bodies completely covered in sand. Sob, I thought we'd never make it. Whoa, are you guys okay? How did these passengers... We were so happy to be done with this whole ordeal that even the W-Corp cleanup agents in the middle of a cleanup mission looked downright hospitable. We are employees of Limbus Company. We boarded the warp train at the behest of your employer. Oh, so you guys are the people that our captain told us about. They really let you guys keep your memories, huh? Oh, that reminds me. One of the employees must be sleeping inside that hibernation pod over there. Oh, that, huh? I've never seen it in action before. Thanks, let me go check. That hidden compartment behind the chair that the cleanup agent crawled into. Inside was... nothing! Huh? There isn't anyone in here. Yep. Nothing! Well, we know what happened to that guy now. Maybe we're looking at the wrong pod. This is the correct spot. Then the disappearance of the individual who has entered this pod would indicate... I guess these folks aren't all... oh, they're in the head either. Maybe you guys are just mistaken. I doubt that. Yes, we must have suffered from a momentary collective hallucination caused by fatigue. Very well, then. We'll see ourselves out. Yep, no, never mind. We're all crazy. Bye. Dimension Shredder lore. Yeah, that appears to be... Yeah, no, that would probably... What happened? We don't know. Will it ever be explained? Probably not. But, you know, an eternity is a long time. Literally anything could have happened. Faust cut the conversation short before the other sinners began asking too many questions. Now that I became intimately familiar with the meaning of that gesture, I followed her to the outside without a word. Have we arrived? Oh yes, the 3,000, 2,000, no, well, we'll go second generation, so we'll do 2,000-year-old. We'll just keep that, yes. We will keep the meme intact. 2,000-year-old vampire lolly. Rise and shine, Les. Had enough nap yet? I see. I will hear the details of the incident on the bus once we're traveling again. Understood. Any and all relevant reports will be sent to W Corp via LCCA, and Vergilius was already there when we arrived. He was sharing a conversation with Faust about what went down inside the train with a serious expression. I will now leave with Karen and watch them unfasten Mephistopheles from the train. The minute hand on the manager's head seems to be desperately signaling me they have a lot of burning questions to ask you. Allow me to give you two some space. I was finally able to ask Faust once Vergilius left. Why did you do that? Faust's body was quite literally blasted to pieces from the sheer explosive pressure that filled the room the moment Don Quixote's shoes came off. Oh, well, yeah, she was liquefied as well. It was as though she knew it was going to happen, because it was the preferable course of action to having the same explosive demise occur to your body instead. Ah, okay. Ha. I do find it regrettable that you were made to turn the clock despite my knowledge of the high likelihood of my death upon that occurrence. No, I'm not blaming you for that. I just want to know how long you've known that Don Quixote is... That is something I have been aware of since the LCB was first established. The same could be said of Vergilius. Of course. However, it was by the will of the LCA superiors that this knowledge remains withheld from the manager until the appropriate moment. And that appropriate moment was back there? No, it was in Chapter 7. According to my private judgment, yes. Oh, okay. No, that was... No, the time we saw it is... When we know about it is when we see... It's exactly when we see it the first time. Not a second too soon, not a second too late. Well, as my connection to all communications, including one to Faust, had been severed, I was not in a position to receive the headquarters authorization for that action. Right. Though the full truth may remain obscured still. We are once again returned. Returned, that was a layered word. We've returned to one of the warp platforms in our own dimension. We've returned to our daily lives of speculating about what's next in our path, and the usual Faust, reconnected to Faust, has returned. Yes, Faust replied to Yisang's nebulous wording with a quiet affirmation. Please do not take this query with any greater import than a mere jest. However, do you suppose I shall see her again? She shot a puzzled look at Yisang. In a way, it was quite the pleasant encounter, was it not? Yisang mused ambiguously before leaving us. I would like to think that Yisang is talking about seeing Faust actually being a human being and not Don Quixote, the 2,000-year-old vampire lolly. But you know what? We're gonna just keep on going. The Yisang Faust shipper is going wild. Yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah, okay. Yep, that ship. It is the ship. The two most depressed fuckers on this train. Now Don's views the world with such curiosity and excitement makes a lot of sense. Well, actually, Dachi, that's actually funny that you bring that up, because now I think I understand. The reason why Faust had this whole moment of vulnerability about seeing the whole world without actually understanding you know, everything because she doesn't have access to Wikipedia, is the same thing as Don Quixote sealing basically whatever the hell, you know, unrestrained Don Quixote is away. So it's kind of the same thing. You just wiped your memories to make living more novel. Or rather, you disconnected from omniscient knowledge and power to enjoy living, kinda, sorta. Ah, I see what they have done. You see, what we have seen is basically the same song played over, you know, played back to back by two different artists with two different pieces of instrumentation. So, interesting work of writing there. Very nice. And Virgilius recruited her personally. Which means that, well, I suppose we'll try to figure out what Don Quixote's wish is. Maybe it's a restart. Maybe that's what it is then. Maybe she wants to be stupid and young again, which 2,000-year-old vampire lolly. Oh. Storms are coming. And no, I don't mean chapter 7. Starting to rain out there. The promised timepiece. Don't know what she meant by that, but this is interesting because now I see what it is. So Faust and Don Quixote's situation may be mirrored here, and that's kind of the whole secret gotcha of the event. It's kind of the same thing. So we'll learn more about what Don Quixote's motivations are in the next chapter, of course, but something tells me that it's mostly similar to Faust, where Faust was shocked into a corner, blind, with, you know, outside of her, you know, her comfort zone of basically omniscient knowledge, and then she found novelty in just being, you know, human like the rest of us. Maybe Don Quixote's motivations, or maybe her wish, her thing for the wish twig is the same thing? Possibly. However, yeah, no, Deku's gonna have fun here with drawing. Wow, you're getting loud out there, huh? Better wrap this up then, folks. But, yeah, maybe Deku's gonna have fun drawing, drawing Don with extremely, extremely serious hag bedroom eyes for this 2,000-year-old vampire lolly aesthetic that we've suddenly gotten now. Interesting. Loud enough that the stream heard it briefly. Yeah, that's getting kind of close, but okay. Phew. The incident at the warp train was such a chaotic mess that it felt short. It felt shorter than it really was, but I also learned so much about so many things. But it was too soon to start racking our brains about what kind of nonsense trial we were about to face in P-Corps, and I decided to enjoy this moment of peace. Yeah, I'm getting on with it. How, cough, did we find ourselves at P-Corps, cough? Wherefore is my throat so parched? I'm too tired to explain. Chiquita, you missed out big time on one crazy adventure. That vibrated the last few grains of sand out of my ears. The sinners looked at Don Quixote's bewildering awakening, grinning. There's no way to know what we'll be facing here at District 16, where P-Corp is located, but we got this, right? The same faith I saw in the Faust who believes in uncertainty rises within me, too. I looked up to Faust, only to see that Faust was looking at me as well. She nodded at me with her usual barely noticeable smile, and I gave her a light nod back in return. Time to go find ourselves another golden bow. Yep, time to get back on the trail, folks. Yep, time to get back on to work. We're gonna be fine. We've got a 2,000-year-old vampire princess here with us. With bedroom hair. Yeah, I'm getting to it! Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's about enough. Now that we've finished the actual story, I'll do the grinding off screen and I'll tell you how it goes the next time we actually, get into actually grinding, or rather get into actually playing Limbus Company, but chapter 7 soon. And well, yeah, okay, so Don Quixote but a 2,000-year-old vampire lolly. That's not what I would have wrote, but that's what this is why I'm so interested in Don Quixote to begin with. Because I saw what they did with Don Quixote, and I see that we shared a brain, me and the writers of this game shared a brain cell for the briefest flicker of a second. When I also wrote Don Quixote, the little girl, she wasn't a vampire though, she was a zombie. You see, we were so close, but we were in different rooms in the lobby of the same building. That's why I was so interested to learn more about where this Don Quixote is going, but, well, we only shared that brain cell for the briefest flicker of the moment, as I said, and then the paths diverged to something completely different, wild, and new. Definitely not me, but I'm not disappointed. Well, I suppose that I guess I can say that I'm gonna be original then, so I can just, I can say I can still keep around Selena, because she has nothing to do with whatever the hell vampire masquerade shit we have going on here. I'm uncultured. I have no idea what any of that shit is about! Now you see why Don was trending so hard. I didn't notice. And I'm glad that I looked away, because that was a genuinely good surprise. But see, I suppose I can keep my ideas. But, though it's not anything like I was doing, I'm also pleased, I'm maybe somewhat let down, but also pleased that say, hey, my ideas are still original. See, my plans are still my plans. No one's come up with them yet. No one's figured it out. No one's cracked the code yet on any of my ideas. They've gotten close, but they haven't found the right zip code. We're still playing the game of battleships. I still have ships. You haven't found them all yet, you bastards. Right, so that's the end of Murder on the Warp Express, which, this was a very interesting event. Very simple. You know what? I'm somewhat fatigued after the last event, because I didn't really feel like I grinded as much as I could. I guess I'm just really fatigued in general. So this being short and simple, this is fine. This is okay. I feel like it's somehow fitting for the moment, I guess. I'm not quite sure how to place it, but I feel like it's all right. Cassetti was such a bitch. Yes, he was. He was very funny, though. Very nice writing. His boss fight wasn't terribly hard, though. So, it was, it took a bit, but that means that I can sit there grinding, and this can be very easy. But, see, sometimes it doesn't need to be hard as nails in order for us to enjoy the game. Sometimes we just need a nice story and, something to punch a lot. It's much harder if you use a bleed team. Why the fuck would I do that? Aside from learning more Don Quixote. But, so, that's that. And that's our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I have been your host, Phontomen. And that's my cue. You still need to do the challenge, 15 turn limit. I'll figure that out eventually. I'll need those. We need to get Bloodborne Heathcliff. But, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for another week of streams. I'll see you next week. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.